Okay, so obviously the most dramatic moment of the debate tonight was when you made a comment to Bill Thompson and he really got fired up. In retrospect, what do you think about that exchange and what it said about?
I wouldn't call it an exchange. I think Bill is very passionate about this issue, and I'm very happy to see him pounding his fist. This is an issue that affects his son and affects too many young people in this city, and stop and frisk has to be stopped. It doesn't work. It may have worked in moderation a long time ago, but it has created too much of a rift in the communities, the rift between the police and the community. The train's left the station. We can't turn it back. We've got to get rid of it and instead use strategies that work in other cities. Strategies, for example, like focused deterrence, where you focus police resources, limited police resources, 24/7 on the known criminal elements in communities, as opposed to spreading them wide and thin, stopping everybody because they might potentially be bad when we know that 9 out of 10 times they've done absolutely nothing wrong.
I mean, I think that you've been very clear about your position about getting rid of stop and frisk as an unfair system. I just thought that
because it's making life less safe for everybody.
But Bill Thompson spoke very passionately about, in sort of in a very personal way. I know that you guys have a young son too, but it just. Did it change your thoughts on it any, or do you think it changed the dynamic of the debate or the forum any? His reaction.
We've got to get the guns off the street. I completely agree with Bill on that.
Okay.
The problem is that the stop and frisk is not getting guns off the street. In less than one in 1,000 stops and frisks result in a gun being seized. You know how much it costs to have all those officers stopping people 685,000 times a year? This past year, 524,000 times. It costs a huge amount of money. Why don't we just take a tiny fraction of that and use it in gun buyback programs? That would be much more effective in getting guns off the street.
Why don't we just abolish it like you said? We appreciate you making that statement. We want to stop and frisk in our community. We're absolutely tired of it. And I appreciate that you had the guts to stand up in front of all your colleagues and say that we need to stop and frisk. It is absolutely ridiculous. And until they stop it, why don't you recommend that they put a camera and a microphone as mandatory on the uniform so that we will have a detailed record of exactly what happens during the stop and frisk. But I applaud you for having the courage. And I'm sorry that Thompson did not come along with you. Because if Thompson would come along with you, this is what we want. But I thank you, John Liu, that you had the nerve and the courage to stand up for the Black and Latino community and poor people that are being stopped and frisked night and day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Don't stop on my account. Thank you very
much. Really
much.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
If the comments from a former comptroller whose son is possibly a target of stop and frisk, if Bill Thompson's comments are they enough to sort of get you to reconsider your position?
I just answered.
Maybe he needs his own video.
Will you bring up Thompson's son again on the stop and frisk issue?
Hold on a second. Bill brought up his son and what he said about having to teach his son how to handle a situation in an encounter with the police. That made me very angry as well, just as it makes Bill very angry. So we're in the same boat.